Okay, it looks like everybody turned theirs in. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna grab some water. Hi, friends. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to stop recording right now so that I can share my screen. Okay, let's go over this quiz. They did it. It's nice. Not too bad. So, all right, so here we go. I'm sending you guys just so you have it, okay? I'm going to send it to B2 as well. So you guys just have it referenced. Check your email right now, okay? So what I need, so this is the way, this is what we call the ASCII table. Now, with the ASCII table, you guys have to kind of have an understanding of how it works. Now, it's very important. You don't, let me repeat, you don't need to memorize any of this, okay? Or most of this, okay? Out of all of this, you should know 3 to 4 facts, pretty much, okay? All right, 1, what the ASCII table is it's basically the numeric representation of every single possible keystroke that you can make on a keyboard. On the chart that I'm giving you, that I sent you guys, I'm showing you guys, you'll see the hexadecimal, octal. We'll be covering those, by the way, okay? We will be covering those, but for right now, we're not going to, but you'll see where it says decimal. Let's say you look at A, which is 65. So if you look at the character on the far right, and you go to the far left of it, of that column where it says the decimal, 65 is A, okay? It is capital A. Now you remember this from last year, lowercase a, capital A, they're 2 different things, okay? What you need to also know, second thing, if I am at a capital letter, if I want to get to its lowercase letter, add 32. Okay, if I want to get to my lowercase letter, add 32, right? Now, the next thing, all right, the next thing I want to do is, where is it? The next thing is numbers come before all letters. Numbers come before all letters. And last, this is something that you have to have an understanding, because we're going to talk about our last string methods. Let's say that this was a wall, okay? Let's say that this was a wall and it's the ASCII table, okay? I'm starting capital A, capital B, capital C, capital D, capital E, etc., etc. Lowercase a, lowercase b, lowercase c, lowercase d, okay? From lowercase d, now it's contradictory to the numbers. If I have to go from a lowercase d to a capital D, I have to go up my scale. If I have to go from a capital A to a lowercase a, I have to go down my scale. Remember that. If I have to go from a letters to a number, I have to go up my scale. Okay? Always remember that. Imagine that you have a ticker tape, okay? And then it's just showing you everything. It has all the ASCII variables and characters and stuff like that. Remember that, okay? That being said, okay, from there, let's move on. So again, that is the ASCII table. The big number that you need to know that will help you out always is 65. 65 is capital A. If I want to get to lowercase a, again, remember, there's 26 letters in the alphabet, but in the ASCII table, they're separated by 32 characters. So if I want to get to lowercase a, I add 32. So if A is 65, lowercase a is 97. B is 66. Lowercase b is 98. Yes, Ben.
What are the 6 things in between the uppercase and lowercase?
I don't put it this way. I don't even know. You don't need to know.
Okay.
I literally, those are the 3 things that I know. And for 11 years, that's all you needed to know. But you got to also look at it this way, Betty. You don't even need to know that A is 65. I just think it's just a good thing to have, a good piece of knowledge to have. But you don't even, that's not even tested on the AP. What is tested is that theory that I was telling you about in regards to going up and down. We'll get to that in a second. So what we're going to go over now is, and again, oh, by the way, and again, I sent you guys, I did send you guys the ASCII table. So you guys have this, all right? Here we go. All right, let me close the ASCII table in the background here. And all right, here we go. So public static void main string args. Here we go. Now, with this, what we're going to talk about right now is we're going to go a little more in depth into the character variable. All right? Because the character deals with ASCII. And this is a concept that you need to know for the AP. And again, this is about tying up loose ends, this class, okay? Tying up some loose ends. We'll go into encryption soon, probably, for one class, and that's it. Now, the main thing that I want to say is, let's say I say car A equals, as you know, you can put in 1 character, okay? And if I say sys out A, this is going to print out a capital A. I can also do this. Car equals 65. And it will print out the ASCII representation of whatever 65 is. So for example, if I put in 47, I don't know what it is, but when I print it out, that is the ASCII representation for a slash. If I put 112, it's a lowercase p. So characters can hold positive numbers. Now, if you have language packs, let's say for Japanese, Chinese, Spanish, French, et cetera, that have multiple characters that you can make on the keyboard, the ASCII representation, let's say we'll get into the thousands. Right now, if we put let's say 1,000, we may not have the language pack, so usually it prints out a little square. Okay, so this is the infinite sign. Okay, it's that. So right now you can see these are the ASCII characters for these symbols. Okay.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
If you put it into a string, could you make it so that you have...
We're not talking about strings. So character A equals 1001. Okay. Now, with this, all right, so with character, all right, that is the ASCII representation. The key thing you cannot do, you cannot put negative numbers. And the reason why, do we have any letters that are being represented by negative numbers? No. So the highest, so the other thing is characters 32-bit. Now 32-bit is 2 to the 32nd, which comes out to 64,000. As you know, in programming, 64,000 basically means if I start at 0, I go 32,000 this way, 32,000 this way. Character will only represent the positive 32,000. It will not look at the negative 32,000. Does that make sense? So it's a special type of variable. Even though it is 32-bit, it will not work with negative values. Okay? So let's also say that we have 65. Okay? And I say int b equals a plus 7. Okay? But in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this an A. Notice that we don't have any errors. So when people initially see this, because they see the A, they're going to think, okay, this is going to print out A7, when in fact it prints out 72. The reason why is int is a 32-bit character also. It will read the numerical ASCII representation of what A is and store it as that. So I can store it as char A equals A, or Both are the same thing. Okay? They're the exact same thing. All right? There is a little caveat though. Okay? Let's say that I say int b equals 65. Int b equals 65, great. Then I say int for car C equals B. Ah, we have an error here. And the reason we have this error is because, now, if you take a look at car A, I was able to store character A into int B without any issues. But I can't store B into car C. I can't go back. Why?
Is it like the same reason you can store an int in a double, but not a double in an int?
Nope, they're both the same size. Both int and character are 32-bit. I just said it. I was just talking about it. Character can only represent which numbers?
Positive.
The positive ones, but int can recognize
Negatives.
negatives and positives, thus making int having the capability of being a negative number. That can't happen. Okay. Now, more often than not, you will always have a positive number going into a char. So in order to correct that, here's a char test. And now, I print out C. Car C equals car B. Oh. That should be fine. Oh, whoops. Oh, it's printing out nothing. So we'll do that. Sorry. And A. There you go. So that is, so again, you could go a character into an int, no problem. Character into character, no problem. If I'm going an int into a character, then I have an issue. I have to cast it. Okay. Anybody have any questions regarding that? Perfect. Okay. So again, this is the character variable. Now, in terms of the character variable, in terms of character, that's pretty much what I need you guys to know. You don't really need to know. You don't really need to know about anything else. Okay. What we're going to now move on to is we're going to move on to our last method. Now, do you guys remember that PowerPoint that I sent you guys? That string PowerPoint that had all the string methods in it. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, with the ceiling and the floor.
Yep. So we're going to talk about compare to. Now, the compare to method is a comparison method that's quite often used in like if statements and stuff like that. By the way, am I coming through choppy or?
Yeah, Mr. Marty, I can't see what you're typing. I don't know if it's
yeah,
me.
hold on a second. All of a sudden, I lost internet really badly. Hold on one second. Can you guys hear me better now or no?
Yeah,
Is it better?
I can hear you. I don't know.
I've been able to hear you.
Can you guys hear me okay though?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one second. Hold on. All right. So my neighbor pays to share internet with me, and sometimes he downloads stuff and takes up all my bandwidth. So what I just did is I disabled his access point. All right, so Leo and Ben thought that was funny. All right, so okay, so here we go. I'm gonna share the screen again. He's gonna be pissed. Oh well. All right, so now the compare to method. This is important. Again, think back now to what I told you about the ASCII table going top to bottom. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to make two strings. String, and again, compare to is only used mainly with objects. It is not used with numbers. Okay, so so take a look. Okay, I'm going to say x dot compare. Parentheses, I'm going to say y. Now, giving you guys a heads up, y and x could also be just literals. So I could say x dot compare to hello, or remember, because it's a literal, I could also say hello dot compare to. Remember, both matter. Both are capable of doing each, okay? So x dot compare to y. Now, what this is going to print out is a negative 32, okay? And the reason why is this. The A is from up here, guys. So if you see this A, it's from up this here. The reason why is this. We have our chart, right? So as I told you, so if we imagine that A, B, capital B, capital C, lower, et cetera, lowercase a, lowercase b, lowercase c, okay? You always start off with the first string, which would be x, okay? So if I have A up at the top here, okay, I have capital A here. Do I have to go down or up to get to lowercase a?
Down.
Down.
I have to go down 32. This is where it gets confusing because if you actually think about it, I'm actually going from 65 to 97, which is positive. But you can't look at it that way. You have to take, okay, I'm going down one step, two step. And if I'm going down, I'm going negative. You have to look at it that way. I'm going to get a lot of confusion. I'm telling you right now, some of you are going to mix this up. And it always takes that one quiz where you mess up to get this right, okay? So I'm going down. You're always comparing it off the first letter. Whereas if I do lowercase and capital, okay, I'm going from a lower h. How do I go? If I need to go from a lowercase to my uppercase letters, do I go up my scale or do I go down my scale?
Up.
I go up my scale, okay? Now, the key thing that you also have to understand is this. In programming, in comp sci, in the AP test, on my tests, I may offer a bonus if you figure out, like, let's say I do this, okay? Now, just looking at this, what would this be? Who can tell me what they think this would print out really quickly?
It's going to be like negative 15 or something like that, the distance between h and y.
Exactly, mine, negative 17. Okay, negative 17. All right, so this is going to print out negative 17. The reason why, I'm going from a lowercase h to a lowercase y. Now, I may give you half a point bonus on a free response question, whatever, if you can just do that math really quickly or whatever. But the key thing is, you're not going to need to know that. What you guys are going to need to know is the number that is being printed out a positive number or a negative number? On the AP, the questions will say, on the AP and on my exam, it will actually say what, when it says what is being printed out, your options will be a positive number or a negative number, okay? Now, if they match, you get 0. So your number is either going to be a positive or it's going to be a negative or it's going to be 0. The only number that you will need to know is this one. Let's say I said hello there. Okay, and I print this. It prints out a 6. Holy by geez, what are you talking about? This is the only number that you would actually need to know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's an excess of 6 characters. If the first comparative matches, if the second comparative matches the first comparative or vice versa, and there is an overload of letters, you print out the overload. more than likely, more often than not, even on the AP, you're never the word. I'm telling you guys this within the last 7 years, it has never been bigger than this. Obviously, it hasn't been there. It's been like Mr. Smith, Queen Elizabeth, or something like that. It's never been where you have to go 20, 30, 40, 50 letters or something like that. They know you don't have the time. So if it both match the hellos or whatever, then what it does is it prints out the excess. How many excess letters are there?
Mr. Marty,
Yes.
what if they don't match and then you also have the extra letters?
So,
As in, like, you have like yellow on the bottom and then
for example, take a look what happens. So if I did hello to hello, okay. Oops, sorry. So take a look. Okay. Timmy, basically what it does, it will discrepant, it'll go from the first to the second. It always just compares the first discrepancy. Okay. Always compares the first discrepancy. So for example, take a look. Let's say I have hello. Where's the first discrepancy?
the L.
Yeah.
Second L, right? Be negative 32. But let's say I did, okay, hell yo, negative 45. It's gonna go capital L to the lower 45. It works on the first discrepancy that it sees. If it matches, keep going, matches, keep going, matches, keep going. So that means if both words are completely different, I said hello and Timmy, you're going from capital H to lowercase or to capital T. The first discrepancy. Okay, as you guys see, like I wrote this yesterday. So is it fair to say that yesterday I took the L, but today I bounced back? No, no, no. Come on, guys. I know it's Friday. Okay, all right. So that is the compare to method, all right? All right, so guys, in review, we've got the ASCII, okay, table that you guys have. We have the, oh my gosh, internet is faster. I have a feeling he was draining my internet or something was going on. Okay, we have the ASCII table. We have the, ¿cómo se dice? We have the compare to method. These are the little cleanup items that I need you guys to kind of know. Again, give you my word, test will be done by Monday. You'll have the full report with all the questions. This is an exam that I do want you guys to have, okay? But for the most part, people did really good in here. If there's some of you, if I need to review with you, if I feel like there's a possibility we need to have a review, I will contact you privately, okay? But for the most part, guys, you guys are kicking ass and taking names. You guys are a really strong class, so good job, okay? Does anybody have any, again, your homework, real quick, just to cover your homework, if you go on Portal, it's already on Portal. It was on yesterday, but I just reactivated it for today. If you go on Portal, you only have 5 questions, okay? Your 5 questions are read chapter 13, ignore all of the methods such as is digit, is character, okay? Guys, they're never used, even in real world programming, they're never used. Ignore all of those. Just have the basic understanding of how ASCII works, okay? And then, what's it called? And questions 1, 3, 8, 9, 10. Due by 8 p.m. That's it. 1, 3, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Now, again, so also want to give you guys a heads up. I spoke to Mr. Way yesterday. He is the engineer, remember, on the 29th at 1:15. That class, he is going to be, oh, shit. Uh-oh. I think that is the day that I wanted your test. Oh, you guys are lucky. Guess what? Your test is going to be moved to the day after the election. I kind of don't think that's fair because I think everybody's going to be paying attention to the election. Would you guys agree to that? Is that not fair? Okay, guys, I hate to do this.
Oh no. Move it to the day after that.
No, I'm gonna move it to the 28th. It's just a day before. Okay. Isis, don't give me that runner girl look. Okay, don't do that. All right. Now, the 28th will be your exam. I'm gonna put it on the test calendar right now. Does anybody have any questions so far? In regards to the speaker, I have told him, like, you guys don't care about hearing what it's like to work at Amazon. I told him straight off the bat, I was like, if it turns into a commercial for what it's like to work at Amazon, I'm going to hang up on you. Okay, I'm literally going to kick you out of the class. They don't care. Okay, I was like, I want these students to understand what was it like being a programmer in college? What were the classes like? When you got out of college, what was your life like? Did you have a good nightlife? How much money did you make? What was it like? Was it a boring job? These kids need to hear that. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, thank God, I could talk about that for hours. I was like, perfect. They could give two shits about what it's like to work for Amazon. They don't care. So I know you kind of have to do this through Amazon. No one is going to ask, what's it like to work at Amazon and AWS? No one cares. Stick to what it's like to be a programmer. Is it boring? Did you make good money? Did you go out to the clubs? They want to know what it was like to live that life. And he was like, done. Absolutely. He's like, oh, I'm already looking forward to this. So he was already excited about it. So Chinese guy, cool looking cat. So it should be a good thing and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. And then, yeah, so we should be good. Anybody have any questions?
Can I stay after class for a minute?
Kennedy, of course. Remind me to stop recording though.
Okay.
Ashton, or
When does it start printing the excess amount of letters again?
so let's say you have matching. The minute that the matching characters are done, it will start printing the excess. After, let's say you have 5 and 5 after the 5. But if you
okay.
it's only if everything matches.
Yeah, okay.
Then it prints out the excess. All right. Okay, you guys are done. Great class, guys.